I'm Guy. I'm the host of Inside the Atheists Studio podcast and blog. You can go to insidetheatheiststudio.com to find all the full interviews and lots of other good stuff. I recently spoke with Edward Tarte, who is a YouTuber and blogger and former Catholic priest, and what follows is a clip from that interview. And all the links for everything you need will be in the description box below. Yeah, and you talk a little bit about that. Well, on a few of your videos, in particular, one that I thought was interesting was your video about the biblical God dilemma for
Yes,
atheists. Um,
yes,
can,
that's. I think that's an important video of mine.
yeah, that was a really good one. Can you just give us the basics of what that dilemma is for our listeners?
The dilemma is the biblical God is an evil, cruel monster. There is overwhelming biblical evidence to support that, and he requires that he worship him. That's a dilemma. How can I worship an evil, cruel monster? He also says that if I don't worship him, he will torture me forever in hell. That is what I describe as the ultimate dilemma,
Hmm.
a dilemma which believers need to face up to. I have faced up to it, and I escape from the dilemma by finding no solid evidence that any God even exists.
So, have you have you gotten many responses on that video from Christians? What kind of answers have you heard them give in regards to this dilemma?
Well, I would have to look at the comments to give a good answer for that.
Hmm.
Listeners to this podcast who are interested can access that video. It has the word dilemma in the title and see the comments for themselves. But uh, I've gotten a wide range of comments, many from supporters who totally agree with me, and others from believers who say, well, it's obvious that God does exist, and you're wrong. God is not an evil, cruel monster. God is love, and God is all good, all just, all merciful, our Heavenly Father.
But let me ask you this: if you put yourself back in your role as a Catholic priest, if you had been presented with that dilemma, how would you answer it back
I
then?
don't know. It's hard. It's hard for me to answer that because at that time, I believe that my mind was poisoned by my religion. And I don't know. I do know that the time came from my reading and from my contacts uh, with priests and laymen critical of the Catholic Church that somehow my mind was opened. Uh, I don't know whether being forced by someone to confront that dilemma would have opened my mind or whether it would have just caused me to become defensive um, and continue to preach what I was preaching.